Good morning, Dr. Jack and TA Linda, ladies and gentlemen, we are Group 9. Today, we would like to focus our attention on the ethical dilemma of humanoids. Let's talk about the problematic first, which is whether Mika should be responsible for her own actions or not. From this problematic, it derives a critical question. And that is if Ul is a moral agent. The question is not only discussed in this case, but also in the reality for pretty a while. Firstly, let's watch what perspective the religious hold. We divide it into two separate views. One is from Christianity, and the other is from Buddhism. From a Christian perspective, it appears that Pastor Andrew Chiang doesn't believe that Mika should be treated as a real person morally responsible for her own actions. He is of the opinion that Mika was not morally responsible for killing her owner, since she is property without the free will to choose whether she believes in God or not. He quotes sentences from Genesis, "And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." AI is not created by God, so it lacks free will like human beings. However, Mika was programmed by obeying its owner without the will, since it can't choose whether she believes in God or not. Next, let's take the Buddhist perspective. From a Buddhist perspective, it appears that Abbot Tianchi she doesn't believe that Mika should be treated as a real person morally responsible for her own actions, as well. Abbot she stated that Mika wasn't a moral person because it was a machine and didn't have a mind of its own. In other words, Mika is not a sentient being. Based on the information above, both Pastor Andrew Chiang and Abbot Tianchi believed Mika should be viewed merely as a malfunctioning robot instead a moral person. From the non-religious perspective, Dr. Jack believes the contrary. He defined a moral person who can demonstrate an ability to reason and obligate moral problems. Based on Carter and Woodworth, Dr. Jack states moral agents should have the capability of being responsible for their decision and telling whether things are right or wrong. Furthermore, based on Malus' description, he indicates that an individual has moral obligations and the knowledge to reason things with morals. Of course, it means that she should bear moral responsibility for her owner's death. As for our group perspective, we support the non-religious perspective. Since we believe an AI being like Mika has changed the capability of being responsible for its decisions and discerning right from wrong, we believe the ethical perspective that supports this reason is Kant's duty-based ethics. What is that? Duty-based ethics, or we can say deontology, are usually what people are talking about when they refer to the principle of the thing. It teaches some acts are right or wrong because of the sorts of things they are, and people have a duty to act accordingly, regardless of the good or bad consequences that may be produced, which was that every action always had its causality. Hooker and Kim believed the foundation of action was rooted in reasons which were able to be programmed in AI beings. They stated that conditional rules could be programmed into AI naturally by satisfying certain properties as the tradition in deontology. The other scholar Brozek considered a moral agent should follow a set of rules of conduct when faced with moral decisions, what Kant called universal laws of nature. The perspective we hold posits AI beings like Mika should be considered as having moral status, and being morally responsible for their actions. In summary, whether Mika is a robot or a moral person is up for debate. Tons of perspectives are on the floor and each of them has many defenders. All in all, this is a very diverse discussion. This is our thinking of this humanoid issue. Thank you for your listening and wish you a happy new year.